Hey guys, this is Gloria. So I am here to share with you guys a print and cut kind of a demonstration and just a little bit of a comparison of how it works with the Cricut Maker versus the Silhouette Cameo. So right now what you guys are looking at is my Cricut Design Space canvas. And what I did was I picked up some digital images or kits from AC Digital. I will link the information down below. They had um, three kits for $9.99, and one of the kits was the Maggie Holmes Shine kit, which I really wanted. And so I was really excited to have found it for $9.99 for all three kits. It came with paper, it came with a bunch of ephemera pieces, and it's all digital so that you can manipulate it and make it as big or as small as you may need in order to use it on your project. So this is my first time using the print and cut feature here in Cricut Design Space. I've used it before in Silhouette, and I will say that I do like it, and I think that it's easier to use it in Cricut. Now, I use both of my machines depending on what I'm going to do, but in this case, I wanted to try it out on my my Cricut Maker. So the first thing that you would do, or the first thing that I did, was I just went to new, and that's how I got this new canvas here. And so I normally go to uploads, but you can go to, right here, recently uploaded images, and just click view all. You can also go over, I believe, over here and do your projects. I mean, there's different ways that you can get into it, but I just go ahead and click here and I say view all, and you guys will see all of the images that I've just recently uploaded. And it was super simple for me to upload them. All I had to do is just unzip the file, and then I went to upload, and I drug them over and just dropped them into Cricut Design Space, and I was able to save them. And so all you got to do is just pretty much, or what I did was I just pretty much just clicked on each image that I wanted. So what I do, and I'm on a Mac, I normally just click, and then I'll hold down the shift button, and I'll click the next one, and whichever image I may want to use. And as you can see right down here, here are your images right here, and you can actually click to X them out if you wanted to. So I can X that one out, but then I still have these other two right here. I can continue just holding down my shift button and clicking on all of the images that I may want to print then cut. I'm not exactly sure, or I can't really tell you how many images your paper will hold, because it just depends on how large your images are. And as you guys can see, there's some really pretty images in that Maggie Holmes Shine collection. I really love all of the images that are in that particular collection. So I'm just going to go there, and then I'm just going to say insert images, which is right down here at the bottom right hand corner. And once I do that, it brings me to my blank canvas mat, and it's going to import all of those images that I just clicked on, which is pretty cool. That's something that the Silhouette Cameo does not do. It doesn't bring in all of these images at the same time. And if it does, I just don't know how to do it, and I've never really seen it before. And I've had my Cricut for my Cameo for a very long time, but it does pile them all up on your canvas. And if you're fine with printing and cutting them at the size that your machine brings them in, then you don't have to do anything else except click over here, and you just click make it. Once you click make it, the Cricut is so smart that it will actually group your images on different mats in order for you to print them out. And then you would just print it, and then you would take it to your Cricut and just go ahead and cut it out. But as you can see, right up here it says prepare 7 mats. So these images are pretty big, and it depends. I mean, if you want them that big, then go ahead and keep them that big, but I don't want them that big. So I'm just going to click cancel. It's going to bring me back to this page, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take each individual one out, and I'm going to shrink them down. Now, one thing that I would suggest that you do is I would suggest that you go over to the shapes menu right over here. You grab yourself a square. It doesn't matter. Just grab yourself a square, and you're going to click up here where it says well, first off, you're going to unclick this little lock proportion button right here. And for your width, you're going to click 8.5. And for your height, you're going to click 11. And what that is because my printer prints out an 8.5 by 11 inch sheet of paper. And so what this is going to allow me to do is have something that I can actually visually look at to determine how big my images are. For me, it's a good way for me to determine how large I want my images to be. You may be able to just look at them and just print them out, but for me, I like to use this method. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go right over here to the right, and I'm going to click on this little circle. It's going to bring up this layer attributes window right here. I'm just going to change the color of it to white. And then I'm going to click right over here where it says arrange, and I'm going to say move to the back. Now I have just a visual key or clue of how large my images will be on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. Now granted, Cricut doesn't allow you to print a whole 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. It does account for the margins, and you will see that in the next video when I show you guys what it looks like to print these images out. But just for the sake of figuring out how large you want your images, I think it's just best to use that as like a little key so that you'll know how large your images are. And you'll kind of know too how many mats you may end up needing. So what I would do is I would just start to make all of these the size that I want them to be, and I'm visualizing my 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and it doesn't matter if they overlap. It really doesn't, because the Cricut, like I said, is so smart that it is actually going to put them on the mat where they need to be in order for you to be able to cut them properly. Let me just scroll up a little bit. And so that's pretty much all you would do, is you would make all of these images the size that you need them to be. And then once you're happy with the sizes of all of your images, and you have them all on your little sheet of paper, or you just use your sheet of paper for measurement references, then you would go ahead and click make it. Once you click make it, see, now you can see over here it says formats, prepare formats, but that's a bunch of images, and some of the images were still pretty large. I didn't go through and make them all small like I should have. But right now, all I would have to do is just just click continue right here. And once I click continue, it's going to say send to printer. And I'll just click this to send it to my printer. I can print each one of these first, and then I can go back and actually cut them on my Cricut Maker. So I just think that this is just such an awesome way of making your own ephemera and printing out your own ephemera in different sizes and all that stuff. So I will be back, guys, to share with you what it looks like to print these out. Again, I'm just going to use my HP Envy printer to print these, and then I'm going to use my Cricut Maker to go ahead and cut them out. So I will be back to share with you guys the rest of this in a little bit. Hey guys, this is Gloria. I am back to share with you guys what the printouts look like. So what Cricut did was it broke it down into like 2 pages, and it doesn't matter where you have them on your mat. Cricut is actually going to group them together the best it can in order to print the images for you. And so this is what it looks like if you have the bleed off. And as you can see, the images are very crisp, very pretty. And again, this is the Shine collection by Maggie Holmes. It's very pretty, and there's a bunch more
images on there as well, and I just, you know, manipulated and made them as big or as small as I wanted them to be. This is with the bleed on, and I have not cut these out yet, so I want to see what it's going to look like when I go to cut them out. But as you can see, if you look at Best Day Ever, um, you see how much bigger it is with the bleed on and with the bleed off. So we'll see. We'll take them to my Cricut Maker and see how the Cricut Maker is going to cut these and what it's going to look like after they're cut. Now, from what I understand, the black line that's around the image is actually going, the machine is going to read it like it's registration marks. If I was working on my Silhouette Cameo, the registration marks would be at the top here and down below, and it has like some hashtags and stuff like that on there. And what it does is it allows the machine to read the lines and know where these images are on the page. So we'll see how that goes. And this is the other page right here, and this one I did do with the bleed off, and as you can see, again, the images are very crisp. I did use my HP Envy printer to print these on. My printer does have instant ink where I don't have to go out and purchase ink. It just automatically ships me ink when my ink is low, which was great because I tried to print these images earlier and they came out kind of grayish colored where it should be black, and that's how I knew I needed to go ahead and change my ink, and I had my ink sitting right there ready for me to go ahead and change it. So it's perfect. I love it. So I'll be back, guys, to share with you guys what it looks like once my Cricut Maker cuts these out. Okay, guys, I am back from cutting. It was really super quick to cut these things out. I did cut out the one page that was different, and these are the pieces here. I'll share with you guys those in a minute. I also cut out the one page that was the bleed page, which was the ones with the thicker words, and then this one that's still on my mat is actually the one without the bleed on. And I just wanted you guys to see the difference between the two because there's honestly no difference. The machine cuts around the image so well that even with the bleed on, it makes it a perfect cut. And I thought that these came out really, really good. And what I love about digital images is you could you know, manipulate them and make them as big or as small as you need them to be in order to use them on your project. And so these are just so fun to work with and play with, and you know, you essentially never have to buy ephemera again. You can just create your own ephemera. You can definitely do this yourself, make a black box and type white words inside of it and print that out yourself, and you got your own ephemera that will say whatever you need it to say. So these are the ones with the bleed on, and like I said, the machine did cut around those pieces really well. And so this one came out super cute as well. I love this little tassel, so cute. There's some pretty images in this collection. I'm so glad that I went on and picked it up. Very, very pretty. I'm not sure if I told you guys or not, but I did pick this up from AC Digitals, which is where I get most of my digital images from, and I just wait for them to go on sale. And once they go on sale, then I go ahead and pick them up, and then you essentially have them forever. And like I said, you can manipulate them, make them as big or as small as you need them to be for your project. So really love working with digital images. So look at the little zebra, so cute. Oh my gosh. And I will say, and like I said, this one here is the one with the bleed off, and it did just as well. It cut around this just as well. I'm not going to take it off my mat just yet, but it did really well. But I did want to say that my machine did a really good job with cutting even out the little small, tiny, thin pieces, you know. I didn't have I should have had my scraper tool with me, but I didn't have my scraper tool in order to pick up these images, which is probably what you should do. But I did use my light grip mat, and this is just some 65-pound cardstock that I use in white. And I just went on and printed them out using my printer, as I said before. I'll try to link as much stuff in my Amazon store if you guys just want to go over and check that out. and just see what the different products were that I was using. And I love it. It was easier for me to actually do the print and cut images on my on my Cricut than it is on my Cameo. On Cameo, you have to actually take these images. You would have to there's a lot of steps that you have to do with each image in order for you to make the image a print and cut. It doesn't just automatically print and cut. And from what I found with the Cricut Maker, I was able to just upload them into the program, and size them the size that I wanted them to be. And I just had to make sure that when I saved each one of these images, that I saved it as a print and cut. Once I did that, they're all ready to go. If I was using my Silhouette, it would be totally different. I would have to actually take the image. I would have to scan the image over pretty much. I mean, I have videos on that, and I can probably find some of my older videos, and I'll link it down below if I can find them. But to me, it was so much easier using my Cricut Maker than it was using my Cameo. Now, I love my Cameo. I'm not giving up on it, but for this particular project, yes, it definitely worked out better for me to use my Cricut. So guys, that's about it. As always, if you guys have any questions or comments, just leave them down below, and I'll get back with you as soon as I possibly can. Take care, guys. Bye.